Part 129. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 1281. Chapter 1281. Don't disturb her again. Boom. Hearing the sound of the door closing, the three of them ran outside the door and saw that Gujinsi at the dining table was no longer there. Gongkinli felt relieved. Nangang Luo lowered his eyes, and an unknown emotion flashed across his eyes. I have known Gujinsi for so many years, and I know that Gujinsi is a very sophisticated person. He will not be pleasant to people, but he will not show his emotions, and he will not do such things as slamming the door. It can be seen how unbalanced Gujinsi's heart is. Xiao Yuer seemed to feel the subtle atmosphere of the scene, and her delicate little hands clenched Gongkinli's sleeves tightly. Gongkinli patted her daughter's back to comfort her. Come on, let's wait outside. Daddy will soon prepare the shrimp Yuer wants to eat. Xiao Yuer nodded in response. This war without gunpowder seems to be over. The meal cooked by Nangang Luo himself was well received by Gongkinli and Xiao Yuer. Daddy, you are awesome, Xiao Yuer gave a thumbs up in praise without hesitation. Nangang Luo found that Xiao Yuer's voice became smoother and smoother. Squeezing towards Gongkinli without leaving a trace, Luli, do you acquiesce? I cannot understand what you say. Today you took Yuer to wash her hands. After she came out, Xiao Yuer's name and attitude towards me changed drastically. If you say that you are not responsible for this, I will not believe it. Nangang Luo usually looks carefree, but as the current head of the Nangang family, he is also very thoughtful. Gongkinli hurriedly picked up the cup and drank heavily, avoiding Nangang Luo's question. Zhonyun, who was waiting for news near Gongkinli's house, found that Gujinsi walked out with a cold face not long after he entered. Only then did she realize that she had made a wrong calculation. Zhonyun was angry and annoyed, and Gujinsi discovered her existence without paying attention. Gujinsi, who was about to drive away, found her at the intersection. The two people who had worked together before and now separated on bad terms got together again. I told you, if you don't fight for it, the two of them will be together sooner or later. Is it related to you? Of course. Since our cooperation was so pleasant at the beginning, why can't we continue now? After all, Zhonyun knew that she alone could not shake Gongkinli, so she had to recruit Gujinsi, who was resourceful and powerful enough to take action. The thoughts of Gujinsi are so unpredictable that no one can figure them out. I told you, I'm not interested. Gujinsi, you are trying to burn bridges. Aren't you afraid that I will tell Gongkinli about this? If she knew that we missed Nangang Luo because you were causing trouble, she would definitely hate you. Warning you, don't disturb her. Are you scared? I keep doing this kind of thing all the time, and you should know that I really hope that you and Gongkinli will be together, so that we can each get what we need. I think you don't know yourself. What do you mean? It seems that not only do you have no self-awareness, but you are also stupid. Gujinsi, you. Even if Gongkinli doesn't choose him, he won't choose you, understand? Gujinsi doesn't care about anyone's face when he attacks someone. Zhonyun was so angry that she stamped her feet. Gujinsi added a warning without haste, remember, don't disturb her, otherwise, you will know my methods. It was rare for Gujinsi to talk so much to one person, but every word was precise and infuriating. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 1282. Chapter 1282. If others have it, my sister must have it too. Children, have you finished the drawing assignment of my favorite person that the teacher assigned you yesterday? Finished. The children's voices in the classroom sounded together, and they sounded full of energy. Since you have finished it, please hand in your homework now. After the teacher reads it, the person with the best drawing will be rewarded. Good. Yesterday, the teacher assigned a painting assignment and reminded them that the person they like the most can be a family member or a friend. In the minds of children, most of them think of their parents or other relatives who accompany them when they grow up. Yezhiruo and Yechingfeng were the first ones to be picked out. The teacher looked at them and shook his head. Yechingfeng, Yezhiruo, you two come here. The brother and sister were called to the podium, and the teacher placed the paintings with their names in front of the two children and asked, "Tell me, what's going on?" The content of the paintings of the two brothers and sisters can be said to be almost exactly the same, but one painting uses balanced colors and is painted more delicately, while the other one seems to be inferior. The one who painted well is of course Yezhiruo, and the inferior imitation is of course Yechingfeng. "What's going on, you two draw the same thing?" When the teacher asked, Yechingfeng answered without hesitation, "Teacher, Ruruo is my sister. Ruruo's favorite is mommy and daddy. My favorite is mommy and daddy, and we have the same father mommy, of course it's the same." A string of tongue twisters came out of Yechingfeng's mouth without even taking a breath. Yezhiruo also nodded in agreement and supported his brother unconditionally. "Teacher, that's right." Looking at the twin brothers and sisters helping each other, the teacher was dumbfounded. But as a teacher, she has to teach her children to do well since elementary school, and she must be more serious at this time. "I know you are twins and have the same parents, but this is not the reason for you to copy each other. Even if you like your parents the most, everyone has different feelings in their hearts, and you can't draw them exactly the same. Tell me honestly, was this painting painted by my sister Yezhiruo?" The teacher knocked on the table with a serious expression. Yezhiruo, who usually didn't like to lie, lowered his head and stuck out his tongue playfully. Seeing that neither brother nor sister responded, the teacher said, "Since you are covering up for each other, your paintings today will not be included in the competition, and you will be ineligible to receive awards." "Don't want." Yechingfeng was the first to stand up and object. The teacher looked at him, waiting for him to explain himself. Yechingfeng reluctantly admitted her mistake. "I had to draw it according to my sister's homework. You don't have to give me a reward, but if Ruruo draws well, teacher, you have to give her a reward." Sister-controlled Yechingfeng would rather bear everything on her own at critical moments than let her sister be wronged. Yezhiruo held his hand and said, "Brother, it's okay. Ruruo doesn't want any reward. That won't work. If there are many things, that's different." Yechingfeng knew that the rewards given by the teacher were very ordinary and they could buy many. But he also knows that the rewards for homework in class have different meanings. The teacher had no idea that he only wanted to educate the children to be honest, but instead saw such a good show of deep brother-sister love. "It seems that you two brothers and sisters have a good relationship. What others have, my sister must have it too." End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lou Kixie. Chapter 1283. Chapter 1283. There is also a younger sister named Nuan Nuan. Unexpectedly, Yechingfeng was so domineering at such a young age, and the teacher even felt the deep relationship between the two brothers. Okay, the teacher just wants to know the truth of the matter. Since you admit it yourself, the teacher will not deprive Yezhiruo of the award qualification." After receiving the teacher's assurance, Yechingfeng breathed a sigh of relief. Although they were talking on the podium, it was far away from the children below, and the children were chattering so that other people could not hear them clearly. Until Yechingfeng and Yezhiruo went down and returned to their seats, Xiao Yuer, who cared about them the most, quietly ran to Yezhiruo's seat and asked, "Brother Feng, Sister Ruo, have you won the award?" Xiao Yuer only knew that the teacher might have called her name for a reward. Yechingfeng shook his head, "No. Brother Feng, you are unhappy. Xiao Yu'er was sensitive and could tell Ye Qingfeng's thoughts at a glance. Ye Qingfeng nodded and told Xiao Yu'er what he had done wrong. Although Xiao Yu'er didn't think as much as the teacher thought, she also knew that plagiarism was wrong and kindly reminded her, Brother Feng, you must listen to the teacher in the future. Huh, as long as she doesn't make things difficult for her, I can do anything. Brother Feng is so kind to Sister Ruo. Ye Qingfeng still felt a sense of pride when he heard this. He patted his chest and said, of course, Ruruo is my sister. Daddy and Mommy said that a man must protect his sister and not let her be wronged. What is being wronged? Being wronged means. Ye Qingfeng understood the meaning, and when he was asked to explain it verbally, he didn't know how to say it for a moment. Yezhiruo promptly added to him, being wronged means being unhappy and sad. Oh, Xiao Yu'er understood. The final results of the painting selection came out, and Yezhiruo's painting really took first place. Yezhiruo was very happy when she got a star pen as a gift. Ye Weiwei personally came to pick her up after school in the afternoon, and she invited Xiao Yu'er to be her guest. Xiao Yu'er was very willing. Ye Weiwei informed Gong Qinli for a while and then took Xiao Yu'er to Ye's house. Ye Weiwei took them to the children's room. You three little guys, just play here and I'll make some snacks for you. Thank you, Mommy. Thank you, Godmother. The three children thanked each other at the same time. This room is filled with fun things. It is an entertainment room specially made for the brother and sister. Recently, some new toys have been added. The mechanical ones that Ye Qingfeng likes are not the interests of the two girls. Most of the things that Yezhiruo likes can be shared with Xiao Yu'er. Yu'er, look at this dancing bead, isn't it beautiful? There is also this rabbit, it can talk. Yezhiruo placed a pink rabbit-shaped toy in front of Xiao Yu'er, wanting to show Xiao Yu'er the efficacy of the rabbit. But after she pressed the button, she found that the rabbit did not respond. The three of them studied it for a while but came up with no results. They just thought, what a pity. Ye Qingfeng had an idea, I remembered, there is a new one in the next room. Yezhiruo also remembered it, but she hesitated, the one in the next room. It doesn't matter, let's go in and show Xiao Yu'er some, and then come out after reading it. The children gathered together and sneaked into the next room. Everything in this room is brand new and spotless. Xiao Yu'er said, wow, it looks good here. Of course, these are warm things. Who is Nuanuan? My sister. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1284. Chapter 1284. The Only Knot in the Night. Huh, does Brother Feng have a younger sister? Of course, Ruruo and I are not twins, we are triplets, and we have a sister named Nuan Nuan. When it comes to the Ye family's third child, they have never been shy about it. Everyone knows that Nuan Nuan died when she was born, but Ye Wei pretends that she is still alive, and prepares a copy for her no matter what, as if Nuan Nuan has always existed, but did not appear beside them. So in the minds of the brothers Ye Qingfeng and Yezhiruo, they have always had a sister named Nuan Nuan. Wow, that's great, Xiao Yu'er clapped her hands happily, and felt very strange when she heard that there was a young lady. Her question also came, where is Sister Nuanuan? Ye Qingfeng shook his head, I can't say. Yu'er has never seen it before. We haven't seen it either, anyway, it's just Nuanuan. Oh. Here, let me show you the rabbit. Yezhiruo took Xiao Yu'er to show her how to play the rabbit. This is how this rabbit plays. Let's go out quickly. After reading this, Mommy said we can't take warm things. The three children had a strange exchange in Mo Xiongnuan's room. Yezhiruo played the music of the rabbit toy and shared it with Xiao Yu'er. Caught off guard, someone pushed the door open. Ye Weiwei appeared at the door, holding cakes prepared for the children. What are you doing? The three children seemed to have been caught by their parents for doing bad things. They were so guilty that they did not dare to look into Yayowe's eyes. Ye only saw the toy in Yezhiruo's hand. That's warm. I'm sorry, Mommy, my rabbit is broken. I wanted to show it to you, so I borrowed something warm. Go out. There was no smile on Ye Weiwei's face, and he even spoke so harshly. Three guilty children, you look at me and you look at each other. Ye Qingfeng, as the eldest, gave an instruction in a low voice, go quickly. The three children left the room one after another, not daring to look back. After returning to the children's room, Ye Qingfeng immediately closed the door. The three of them were like rabbits that had just escaped from a wolf's den, with lingering fears. Mommy is angry. Yezhiruo frowned, feeling deeply remorseful for this. Very scary. Oh, what should I do? The three children felt very embarrassed about this, and they only knew that they were in trouble. Ye Weiwei was originally going to deliver cakes to them, but now he has not come over. The door closed silently. Ye Weiwei put the cakes on the table and put back the toys that the three children had played with just now. She was very familiar with Mo Xiangnuan's room. Every time she bought something, she put it in the room herself, including cleaning the room herself. Looking at this carefully decorated room that is full of warmth, my heart feels as if it has been soaked in ice. For Ye Weiwei, Mo Xiangnuan's room has become a place of longing for her. When she saw the toy, she would think of the joy the three children had when they shared their play. She couldn't help but think that if she had been more careful to protect Nuan Nuan would have grown up as peacefully and happily as Ye Qingfeng and Yezhiruo. No matter how much time passes, Mo Xiangnuan's death is the only knot in Ye's heart that can never be opened. It would be nice if Nuan was still there. Yes, so she can share toys with us. After hearing these words, Xiao Yu'er secretly made a decision in her heart. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1285. Chapter 1285. Let's watch a movie together when you have time. Mommy, Mommy, Mommy. Don't listen, don't listen. Mommy, just tell me. Don't tell, don't tell. After returning from Yejia, Xiao Yu'er pestered Gong Qinli and kept asking about Nuan. But Gong Qinli didn't mention a word about Nuan's loss. Even if she asked no less than 10 times, she didn't reveal anything about it. But the more things she couldn't get an answer for, the more interested she became. Xiao Yu'er kept this matter in her heart and thought about asking again when Nangong Luo came. Gong Qinli can keep her mouth shut to Xiao Yu'er, but Nangong Luo cannot be as determined as she is. When Xiao Yu'er shook his hand and acted coquettishly, how could Nangong Luo still say no? Well, Nuan is the sister of Ye Qingfeng and Yezhiruo, but she left this place when she was very young, so you have never seen her. Why did Sister Nuan leave? Because everyone lives in a different place. I guess you didn't live here originally, right? When the time comes, maybe she will come back. Yu'er understands. Great, I hope Sister Nuan can come back soon. After telling Xiao Yu'er what happened in the words that a child could understand, Nangong Luo also felt that he had done a good job. The words "wait until the time is up" are too false. I'm afraid I will never be able to wait for Mo Xiangnuan back. The kindergarten is over, and they still have to stay here waiting for Gong Qinli to come. Xiao Yu'er took out her picture book and drew to pass the time. Xiao Yu'er grabbed the pen and patiently drew black lines on the drawing book. On this page is a semi-finished product that already has some shape. Nangong Luo looked at it carefully and asked, "What are you drawing today?" "Police uncle." "Yes, why did you suddenly think of painting this?" "Well, when Mommy came to pick up you the day before yesterday, there was a policeman uncle who looked good." In one short sentence, Nangong Luo captured a lot of information. He raised his hand and looked at the time on his watch, and an idea suddenly came to his mind. He lifted up Xiao Yuer's school bag on the table and said, Yuer, why don't we wait for mommy today? Xiao Yuer shook her head quickly, no, no, mommy said we have to wait. In Xiao Yuer's heart, Gong Qinli's words were the first priority. Nangong Luo, whose opinion was rejected, had already made a plan in his mind. It will take a lot of time for us to wait here for mommy to come over. Today daddy will take you to pick mommy up from get off work. Xiao Yuer thought for a while and felt that this made sense, so she nodded, okay, let's go pick up mommy from get off work. Police station. Gong Qinli is sorting out today's information and waiting for the time to get off work. Someone came over and handed her a document. This has been reviewed, please take it in. Okay. Things are all sorted, she just needs to put them in order of time. This matter was very simple, but the man stood beside her and watched her finish it. Gong Qinli smiled politely, is there anything else you can do? Oh, well, it's like this. I originally made an appointment to go to the movies with my friend, but he said he had something to do and couldn't come. I heard you say there was nothing special after get off work, so I wanted to ask you, if you have time, let's go watch a movie together. Some people may not be able to say a word when they are nervous, while some people can babble a lot when they are nervous. The above performance is the latter. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1286. Chapter 1286 Big Pig's Hoof Nangong Luo. But even though he said a lot of words, there was only one key point, and that was inviting her to watch a movie together. This cliché plot has happened millions of times in TV dramas and novels and is still used by people. This old-fashioned way of picking up a conversation is only suitable for situations where two people are interested in each other but do not have a strict relationship. Once you flirt, you are sure to win. But here with Gong Qinli, the result can only be a polite refusal. Don't bother, I'm not very interested in movies. I just think it's a waste, so I want to find someone to use the movie tickets with me. Well, I have to pick up my daughter from school later. It's okay, how about I buy another one and take the kids with me? Gong Qinli's heart. Wouldn't it be a waste to buy another one for the child? While he was talking, he inadvertently glanced at the name on his movie ticket. I didn't know the movie, but I could tell from the name that it was a romance film, and I guessed it was a romance film. Whether it is about people or movies, they are not her cup of tea. Thank you for your kindness, why don't you ask other people? We are all adults, and at this point we are too embarrassed to keep stalking. The man angrily took back the 2 movie tickets and walked out of Gong Qinli's sight. Gong Qinli breathed a sigh of relief. After all, we are colleagues and we meet each other without looking up. It would be bad if there is too much entanglement. It is best to be measured and save her time. Hey, when I came in from outside just now, I saw a young man with his child. That man is very good looking. Yudao Bagwa's voice drifted from the side, and Gong Qinli felt her ears itching when she heard it. The police are serious to the outside world, but everyone is an ordinary person. Privately, they still talk and laugh and occasionally gossip. Everyone has a love for beauty. Seeing good-looking people always feels pleasing to the eye and makes you feel a little happier. Gong Qinli couldn't help but think of the 2 people from her home. Thinking of this, she whispered to herself, why did she just attribute Nangong Luo to herself? Probably because Nangong Luo appeared in front of her so frequently during this period that she couldn't forget it. The cell phone beside me made a ding sound. I reached for it and took a look. The name on the message prompt was Big Pig's Hoof. This is her exclusive pet name for Nangong Luo. The fingerprint unlocked the phone, and the information page was displayed. It clearly said, You and I are waiting for you to get off work. Gongkin Li, are you so in just one sentence? She put her cell phone under the table and quietly typed a reply. She had 10 minutes to get off work, so she would be here soon. It was natural to think that Nangong Luo was accompanying Xiao Yuer in the kindergarten and waiting for her to pick her up. Just when I was about to put down my phone, a new text message from Big Pig Hoof came over. We are at your place of work. Gongkin Li raised her eyebrows when she saw this text message. She kept rubbing the screen of her phone with her fingertips, not knowing what to say. She couldn't help but think of the casual conversation she heard just now. Could it be that the man with his daughter was Nangong Luo? That person's appearance stands out among the crowd and can easily be the focus. Gongkin Li poked her head out and asked the person diagonally across from her, "Hey, you just said there was a good-looking man with his daughter? What are they here for? It seems that you are waiting for someone. What, are you interested? I rarely hear you compliment people, so I'm a little curious." End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1287. Chapter 1287 Murder of Husband. There are still 10 minutes left before get off work, and suddenly I feel a little itchy. Let's go, pack up and get ready to get off work. People who get off work together usually go out together. This is an unwritten tacit agreement. Gongkin Li deliberately delayed time today and sat in her seat. The colleagues next to her were urging her, "Weren't you ready half an hour ago? What are you still looking for? You guys go first, I forgot something. I'll see you tomorrow, bye." Now Gongkin Li hopes that they will leave quickly. If the man and child they just saw were really Nangong Luo and Xiao Yuer, it wasn't that she didn't want people to know, but she was afraid that if they found out, they would chase her and ask about the situation tomorrow. Her current relationship with Nangong Luo is unclear, and she can't explain it clearly. She's too lazy to explain, so she just delays it if she can. She used to be impatient, but now that she has been abroad for 3 years, she feels that she is becoming more and more Buddhist. Gongkin Li changed her clothes and walked out with her bag after the colleagues who usually walked with her had already left. Waiting room. Nangong Luo is guiding Xiao Yuer to play games. Even though the children are young, they are really great at playing games. She doesn't know how to play complex games, but she can understand this simple one by teaching her to put blocks with the same pattern together. Of course, the child's thinking is not as comprehensive as that of the adults. When she encounters difficulties, Nangong Luo will help her take 1 or 2 steps. The two of them have been playing like this until they reach high scores. Xiao Yuer likes this simple and interesting game very much. "Daddy, this pattern is no longer available. Go here, this way." "Yeah, it's gone again." Nangong Luo only moved a few times to make the situation easier, and Xiao Yuer couldn't help but look at him with admiration. As a father, Nangong Luo also enjoys his daughter's dependence on him. There were not many people there after get off work, and the father and daughter were both outstanding in hiding in the crowd, so they could be seen at a glance. After Gongkin Li walked out, what she saw was the scene of the father and daughter getting along warmly. She stood there and stared for a while. The two people who said they were coming to pick her up from get off work didn't notice her. Cough cough cough. Deliberately making a sound to attract their attention, the father and daughter still did not raise their heads, paying full attention to the game on their mobile phones. Gongkin Li, who was shielded, raised her hand and clenched her fingers into a fist. "You are playing very seriously." Finally, the father and daughter raised their heads and looked at him at the same time. Nangong Luo received Gongkin Li's punch unprepared. "Ouch, where did I provoke you again? You teach my daughter to play games, and even a punch from me is considered light." Gongkin Li raised her fist, her eyes full of threats and warnings. "Wow, you murdered your husband. If you talk too much, I will destroy you." Looking at a very disharmonious scene, Xiao Yuer covered her mouth and laughed. She laughed at Nangong Luo, who secretly asked her to pretend not to see Gongkin Li, but now she must be suffering. Daddy is stupid. You little heartless one. Nangong Luo pointed at her forehead with a finger. Gongkin Li, who was not aware of the conspiracy between the two, naturally protected her daughter, and then gave Nangong Luo a lesson. What's going on with you? You still dare to bully my daughter? Don't dare, you are both little ancestors. According to his status in the family, how can he dare to bully him? He simply has to take care of the elder and the younger. Okay. It's good to know, let's go home. After the family of three left happily, a person walked out from behind the pillar. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lou Kixie. Chapter 1288. Chapter 1288. There is always a love rival who wants to take advantage of me. Xiao Yuer drew a picture today. Huh, what are you drawing? Police. Nangong Luo deliberately raised the topic, and Gongkin Li followed his words and asked. Gongkin Li looked back at her daughter and asked expectantly, Hey, you drew the policeman, is it me? Wagged her fingers, the answer was the opposite of what she expected. It's not mommy, it's the police uncle. Police uncle? Yes, it's the policeman uncle that you saw before. He looks good in his clothes. The clothes Xiao Yuer mentioned were police uniforms. Gongkin Li understood it well and stared at Nangong Luo, seeing the man's calm look on his face. If she doesn't understand Nangong Luo's thoughts now, she would be too stupid. She leaned back a little, and so did Nangong Luo. The two little Yuers were sitting upright, and the two adults were making eye contact behind her invisible eyes. Gongkin Li was silently contemptuous. Is it interesting to you to use your daughter to make explicit hints? Nangong Luo returned her a meaningful smile. The innocent child didn't know that there was an undercurrent between them. He even turned out the painting book and showed it to Gongkin Li. Mommy, look, Yuer is going to finish this painting soon. Gongkin Li put on a very satisfied smile and praised the painting for a good job. Nangong Luo touched his chin. His eyes fell on the mother and daughter sitting next to him, and he felt that this day was extremely wonderful. But reality is always full of twists and turns. Still halfway through, the Gong family members actually planned to ask Gongkin Li to go back with her children shortly after she got off work. He specified that she should take Xiao Yuer there, which would definitely not include Nangong Luo. Hey, I'm not going home for dinner today. I want to take Yuer back to Gong's house. Gongkin Li raised her phone and saw Nangong Luo's expression changed. Nangong Luo's eyes seemed to be filled with anticipation, and the two looked at each other for a long time. In the end, Gongkin Li glanced away and pretended not to know what he meant. Yuer, let's go first. It's Nangong Luo's car now, and Gongkin Li plans to get off with him and transfer. Nangong Luo took her wrist and looked at the two of them. I'll send you there. Okay, okay. The atmosphere became much lower in the second half of the journey, and even Xiao Yuer did not dare to speak casually. Finally, after arriving at the destination, Gongkin Li picked up her daughter from the car and did not invite Nangong Luo to sit at home. Gongkin Li waved to Nangong Luo. It was rare to see such a calm look on his face, and she felt a little guilty. Goodbye. See you. After getting out of the car, Nangong Luo seemed to hear Xiao Yuer's doubtful question, Mommy, isn't Daddy going with us? Daddy has other things to do, so he won't be with us today. Oh. Nangong Luo lowered his head, with a vague smile hanging on the corner of his mouth, but it was not very genuine. The car did not turn around and drive away. It stayed here for a long time. Unexpectedly, Gongkin Li took Xiao Yuer back and stayed there for several hours. The driver had already been put off work by Nangong Luo, so he sat alone in the car. Night fell, and I didn't see him out after 8 o'clock in the evening. He was expecting a text message from Gu Jinsi. Can we meet you sometime? Time and place. Nangong Luo replied with 4 words without hesitation. After a while, the car turned around and left its original position, flying away in a cloud of dust. At this moment, the Gong family mansion was still full of laughter and laughter. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1289. Chapter 1289. Gongqinli must be my wife. Gongqinli quietly sneaked to the floor-to-ceiling window with a glass of water and sent a message. Lu Li, please stay here today. I will ask Uncle Zhang to take you and you are to school and work tomorrow morning. The parents of the Gong family really wanted the mother and daughter to stay, and even wished they could live in the Gong family every day. Since it was a rare occasion to come back, Gongqinli was too embarrassed to refuse, so she could only nod her head and say, okay. Xiao Yu ran to her side and asked quietly, Mommy, if we don't go home, what will Daddy do? Because during this period, they ate together every afternoon. Nangong Luo cooked at home, and they were together outside, as if they were a very happy family of 3. Xiao Yu likes this kind of life very much, because she also has a father. It's a pity that she heard what her grandparents said, and it seemed that she was not very satisfied with her father. This made Xiao Yu feel puzzled. It seemed that her father had made many people unhappy, so she did not dare to mention it in front of her grandparents. Night bar. This historic bar is even more resplendent than before. Over the years, the size of the bar has continued to expand, branches have spread all over the country, and the management of the headquarters has also changed one batch after another. At first they liked this bar and they all spent part of their money to invest in it together with Yezikin. How else can we say they are smart? They invested in shares in the early years, and now they get all the dividends every year. Gu Chenxi and Nangong Luo haven't seen each other for a long time. Their friendship is not deep, and they are probably maintained by the relationship between Yezikin and Yezikin. Now that they meet, they have their own purposes, and the atmosphere of being under the same roof is very subtle. Brother Gu, long time no see. Sit. This luxurious private room is very spacious, with many different types of wine bottles placed on the table. Brother Gu, aren't you all prepared to welcome me? Yes. Nangong Luo sneered lightly, in the past years, when I invited you to drink, you always said that it is not convenient for doctors to drink. Now that you have been abroad for 4 years, have you changed your habit? Gu Chenxi replied, it doesn't matter if you take a break from time to time. He used to be very busy working in the hospital, and he might be called back to work at the hospital for surgery at any time, so he basically didn't drink for fear of something going wrong. Just recently returned to China to take over the family business, and has not officially entered the hospital yet. It always feels a little weird for 2 grown men to be in the same room without talking about work or fun. I've stopped drinking recently and don't dare to drink. You do not dare. There are people in charge of the house, so we don't dare to make mistakes. Is it? Yes. He did not directly specify who the family member was, but the conversation between the two had a strong smell of fireworks. Even though the words came to this point, Gu Chenxi poured 2 glasses of wine himself and handed them to him. So much wine, don't waste it. Brother Gu, if you have something to say, you can speak out, but you are being ignored by me. I like her too. Nangong Luo picked up the cup and drank it all in one gulp, then placed it heavily on the table. She is mine. She didn't choose you. Gu Chenxi poked his sore spot calmly. Nangong Luo said firmly, she will. You were disqualified 4 years ago, and 4 years later you are still not together. Brother Gu, what you said is really unreasonable. Now it's just a woman having a little temper and quarrel. After all, Yu is my Nangong Luo's daughter, and Gongkinli must be my wife. Well said, Gujinsi suddenly applauded, if you come today, I should give you a surprise. Come out. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 1290. Chapter 1290. Nangongyu is looking for his father. Dad. As soon as Gujinsi finished speaking, a child ran out of the side door and ran straight to Nangong Luo, still saying daddy in his mouth. Nangong Luo frowned. Nangong Yu, who had not seen him for many days, reappeared in front of him, looking very surprised. Dad. Nangong Yu kept calling him, trying to get his attention. Nangong Luo was not kind to her. Last time Zhou Yun was so angry with Mr. Nangong that the Nangong family put pressure on the Zhou family to retaliate. Now he is even more unwilling to have anything to do with the Zhou family. He did not answer Nangong Yu's words, but asked Gujinsi, why does she appear here? Obviously, come to his father. You should know that she has nothing to do with me. It doesn't matter, she called me daddy every time, which is very kind. I am doing a good deed out of kindness, and you should be grateful to me. Gujinsi. This full title is full of warning. Gujinsi poured another glass of wine into his wine glass without haste, shaking the high-heeled wine glass to appreciate the dynamic beauty of the slight rippling of the red wine. Nangong Luo is now entangled by Nangong Yu. He doesn't want to see the Zhou family and he doesn't like Nangong Yu, but no matter what, he can't be cruel to a child, right? Helping, he could only try to talk to Nangong Yu, where is your mother? Nangong Yu smiled when he heard this, Dad, are you looking for mommy? I'll take you there. Mommy said you went to work far away, and she prepared a lot of gifts for you or lie. Zhou Yun has become a sinner of the Nangong family for doing that kind of thing, but he still refuses to slowly tell the child the truth. It was Zhou Yun who was unkind in the first place. He gave Zhou Yun a chance and wanted to save her face. It was Zhou Yun who made everything go to the worst possible outcome. Nangong Luo sneered in his heart. Since Nangong Yu appears here, it means Zhou Yun is also nearby. He didn't want to stay here and waste time anymore. No one in this group of people was what he wanted to see. I still have something to do, so I won't accompany you. Nangong Luo wanted to leave, but Gujinsi didn't say anything to persuade him to stay. It's just that Nangong Yu is a problem. Seeing Nangong Luo was about to leave, Nangong Yu hugged his thigh tightly, Dad, don't go. Nangong Luo grabbed her little arm and tried to pull her away. But Nangong Yu's best right now was to hold on tightly and not let go. Dad, don't leave, Yu wants to go back to the big room, and Yu wants to find grandma. The thoughts in a child's heart are the most real. Zhou Yun may have not told her the truth to protect the child, but Zhou Yun actually asked the child to appear in front of him at this time. You can imagine what he had in mind. If he wants to be as soft-hearted as he was 4 years ago and will definitely fall into Zhou Yun's trap, he will be a fool. Nangong Yu must have run out after listening to Zhou Yun's words. Nangong Luo looked around the luxurious private room and said to the air, don't think that a child can hinder me. If you don't come out, don't blame me for attacking a child. Put this sentence down. There was nothing but the crisp clinking sound when Gujinsi picked up and put down the wine bottles and glasses behind him. Dad, I want to go home, and I want to find Grandma. Nangong Yu was struggling to perform beside him, and Nangong Luo's patience had been worn out. He forced Nangong Luo's hand open, and Nangong Yu, who couldn't bear the pain, burst into tears instantly, and the originally quiet and tense atmosphere was filled with crying. End of this chapter.